all you need to know, the Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business. Good morning and thanks for listening in. This is the daily morning update from Bloomberg Quint and I'm Alex Matthew. Today's the 8th of October. Here's everything that you need to know. COVID-19 cases spiked again yesterday, but not by much. The country added 72,000 fresh cases in the 24 hours to 8 a.m., taking the total tally to over 67.5 lakh. Now, in important regulatory news, the government has finalized the appointment of M. Rajeshwar Rao as the fourth Deputy Governor of the Reserve Bank of India. The post has been empty since N.S. Viswanathan stepped down in March, 3 months before his term ended, citing health reasons. Rao is currently Executive Director at the RBI. In news in the banking space, India's largest bank, State Bank of India, has seen limited signs of pandemic-related stress building up in the book, according to Dinesh Kumar Khara, who took over as the bank's chairman yesterday. In his first interaction with journalists, he said that early indicators show that one-time restructuring requests are within expected levels. He went on to say that while some corporate customers have approached the bank for restructuring their outstanding dues, the number is not alarming. Moving on, the government yesterday allowed affiliate companies of gas producers to buy gas produced from non-regulated fields as part of a move towards complete marketing freedom. Oil Minister Dharmendra Pradhan was quoted as saying that the ban on producers buying their own gas will continue in order to prevent manipulations, but their affiliates can participate in the auction for the discovery of price and buying gas. In international news, the Trump administration is exploring restrictions on billionaire Jack Ma's Ant Group as well as Tencent over concerns that their digital payment platforms threaten U.S. national security, according to people familiar with the matter. Debate over how and whether to restrict Ant Group's and Tencent's payment systems has accelerated among senior U.S. officials in recent weeks, though a final decision is not expected soon. In other international news, Brexit negotiations are at risk of breaking down within days after the UK government warned that it will pull out of trade talks with the European Union if there is no clear deal in sight next week. Boris Johnson has said he wants the outlines of a deal to be clear by the 15th of October. EU officials, meanwhile, have said that they won't be pressured into making concessions and are prepared to call the Prime Minister's bluff if he doesn't compromise. Now, just a day after President Donald Trump walked away from a possible stimulus deal, Nancy Pelosi indicated the openness to an airline relief bill. U.S. equities rose strongly as a consequence, all three equity indices gaining between 1.7 and 1.9%. And it's a positive start to trade in the Asia-Pacific region as well, with all three early risers starting off strongly in the green. There's quite a lot of news and big news at that in the IT space here in India, and Hormuz Fatakia is here to tell you all about that. Good morning, Hormuz. What do you have for us?
Good morning to you, Alex, and to our listeners as well. It shouldn't be a surprise to any of you that I'm starting off with TCS, so here are a few takeaways from the company's earnings. The dollar revenue growth for TCS was the highest in 24 quarters at over 7%. The company has announced a buyback at 3,000 rupees a share, which is a 9% premium to Wednesday's closing price. It has also declared a dividend of 12 rupees a share. The constant currency growth for the company was a strong beat at 4.8% as compared to an estimate of 2.5%. And now if you want to hear some bullish commentary, here are the words of TCS CEO Rajesh Gopinathan, who said, and I quote, "This is not catch-up demand, but rather sustained demand momentum. This demand recovery has strong legs," end of quote. Now that TCS has announced a buyback, Wipro said, "Make it two, please." Wipro will also mull a proposal for buyback of equity shares at its board meeting on the 13th of October. Wipro's listed shares on the American exchanges, or ADRs, ended 4.5% higher overnight. So watch out for these two IT majors in today's session. Moving away from IT to financials, and banks have come out with their quarterly business updates. First, Bandhan Bank says that collection efficiency for the month of September stood at 92%. Advances for the lender grew 20%, while deposits rose 34% as compared to the previous year. Also, RBL Bank saw deposits rise 3% while advances declined 3% as compared to last year. The liquidity coverage ratio of the lender stood at 170%. ICICI Prudential's annual premium equivalent for the April to September period, which is the first half of FY21, declined 32% as compared to the same period last year, while the new business premium fell 13.5% year on year. S. Chand has enlisted Low Astro Advisors, a specialized transaction advisory in the education space, as it looks to raise funds for its edtech platforms, which includes both school and student solutions from investors. Also in focus today will be Asian Granito, which will be considering a share split as well as a proposal to raise funds through an equity issue on the 23rd of October. Prabhat Dairy, GM Breweries and 5 Paisa Capital are some companies that will be declaring their quarterly results today. Also watch out for Majesco, which has a board meeting today to consider a share buyback and will also be reacting to its quarterly earnings. Some buzzing stocks from Wednesday's trading session. Dr. Lal Pathlabs ended at a record high with gains of over 11.5%. The stock saw its biggest single-day gain since listing in 2015. RCF gained for the fourth straight day on Wednesday, ending with gains of over 5%. The stock is up 12% over the last 4 sessions. And Narayana Hrudayalaya ended at the highest level in over 8 months, gaining close to 6%. The stock has gained in 6 out of the last 8 trading sessions. Both Sensex and the Nifty remain at their highest level in over 7 months after ending higher for the 5th straight day on Wednesday. This is the longest winning streak for the benchmark indices in over a month. Early ticks on the SGX Nifty indicate that the index is flat around the mark of 11,800. Do log into BloombergQuint.com and read our All You Need to Know copy, which keeps you abreast ahead of the day's trade. With that, I wish you a safe day ahead, and it's back to you, Alex.
Thanks, Hormuz. And as always, thank you all for listening in. That's all we have for you in this podcast, but as always, there's a lot more on the website BloombergQuint.com, so don't forget to check it out. This is Alex Matthews signing off. Have a great day.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you can listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Paisa Vaisa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma, or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.